For over 200 years, Oak Island has drawn treasure hunters, historians, and dreamers into its maze of secrets. A tiny patch of land, surrounded by the Atlantic, yet overflowing with legends. Buried riches, booby-trapped tunnels, whispers of pirates, and even links to the Knights Templar. Every attempt to uncover the truth has only made the mystery deeper. But now, things are shifting. There's major water movement here, and it's coming from the inland side, not the ocean. And suddenly, the unthinkable feels close. New leaks suggest that treasure teams, and yes, even the History Channel, believe the final answers may be within reach. That could be the box. And if it is, it might mean there are multiple treasure chambers. The Oak Island story has officially taken a dramatic turn. So here's what was uncovered, and why the entire world is suddenly paying close attention. Just off the southern edge of Nova Scotia, Canada, sits a small wooded island only about 140 acres in size. To the eye, it looks peaceful, ordinary, just waves, trees, and a quiet shoreline. But under its surface may rest one of history's most astonishing secrets. Treasure so precious, or so cursed, that countless people have gambled their wealth, their safety, and even their lives trying to find it. This journey began back in 1795, when three young men noticed something unusual on the island. A circular dip in the ground, as if the earth had once been dug out and refilled. Hanging above it was what looked like a pulley system attached to a tree. Their curiosity exploded. Convinced they had stumbled onto pirate loot, maybe even tied to Captain Kidd or Blackbeard, they began digging. What they found changed everything. Layered wooden platforms began appearing as they dug deeper, solid proof that someone had intentionally buried something far below. Then, disaster struck. The pit suddenly flooded with seawater, swallowing the dig site and making further progress impossible. Over the next 200 years, wave after wave of treasure hunters arrived. Some chased gold, others chased legends. Everyone brought hope. Many left with heartbreak. And as Oak Island's mystery grew, so did the theories. Was it pirate treasure, Templar relics, the Ark of the Covenant, ancient manuscripts? And then came the curse. According to island law, 7 people must die before the treasure is revealed. Whether superstition or coincidence, at least 6 treasure hunters have already lost their lives in accidents, equipment failures, cave-ins, toxic gases. Oak Island has proved deadly to those who push too far. This chilling curse looms over every new discovery. It's not just a hunt for treasure anymore, it's a clash between destiny, obsession, courage, and madness. Even famous figures have fallen under the island's spell. Franklin D. Roosevelt once invested in a dig operation. Hollywood icon John Wayne helped fund excavations. Scholars, engineers, adventurers, people from every background have poured resources and passion into the hunt. Oak Island has everything: real artifacts, strange engineering, encrypted clues, and a mystery big enough to reshape history. And now, for the first time in decades, treasure hunters believe the truth is finally within reach. And yes, the History Channel knows. But before we break down the newest evidence, let's ask the most important question. The Oak Island legend isn't built on what has been found. It's built on what could be there. Here are the leading theories. Pirate treasure supporters believe Captain Kidd or Blackbeard buried stolen gold, silver, jewels, maybe millions in stolen riches. Kidd was rumored to have hinted at a secret stash before his execution. Knights Templar relics. This theory claims the Templars smuggled their treasure out of Europe after their fall in the 1300s, bringing it to the New World. Some even suggest the Holy Grail or the Ark of the Covenant may be hidden beneath the island, supported by symbols found on local stones and the island's intentionally engineered layout. Ancient religious texts. Some propose that lost Christian manuscripts or relics, possibly linked to the Temple of Solomon, were buried to protect them from destruction, rewriting the history we think we know. Spanish galleon treasure. With countless shipwrecks along Nova Scotia's coast, some argue that survivors from a wrecked Spanish warship transported gold inland for safekeeping. Marie Antoinette's jewels. Another theory claims valuables belonging to the doomed French queen were smuggled out of France and hidden on Oak Island. Shakespeare manuscripts. And then there's the wild idea that philosopher Sir Francis Bacon buried original Shakespeare manuscripts and encoded the island as a map. Far-fetched? Maybe? Impossible? Not at Oak Island, because truth or legend, something real has been found, especially in the swamp. The Oak Island swamp has long been one of the island's most confusing and dangerous areas. Excavations have constantly failed, flooding, collapsing, even pushing back against attempts to dig deeper. But recent research has revealed something stunning. The swamp may not be natural at all. Instead, it appears to be part of a massive engineered structure created to hide something underground. One of the biggest clues is a feature known as the Jack Adams box. Using conductivity scans, treasure hunters detected concentrated metal signatures beneath the swamp, strong, organized, and deliberate. These signals line up perfectly with old stories describing a buried container or vault, something man-made, something valuable, something hidden on purpose. And the deeper the team digs, the more evidence appears that Oak Island is not just a legend, it's a buried secret waiting to be uncovered. Next came the ground-penetrating radar scan of Lot 10, an area sitting right beside the island's infamous swamp. What treasure hunters found beneath the soggy soil left them stunned. The radar images revealed several unusual formations, shapes, and layers that were too geometric, too organized to be natural. These readings helped fuel a daring idea. The swamp wasn't formed by nature at all. Instead, it may have been engineered as a dam system. In other words, the swamp might have been purpose-built to flood the area and shield whatever lies buried underneath, like an ancient, water-powered security system designed centuries before modern technology. As digging continued, the team uncovered a remarkable structure, a long wall made of wooden planks hidden beneath the swamp's sediment. It wasn't random driftwood. The boards were aligned, structured, and clearly crafted with intention. It was evidence of human construction, carefully designed and preserved underwater. Then came another breakthrough. A geoscientist studying layers of sediment discovered a band of reddish soil linking the swamp to an old stone road that sits nearby. That connection hinted at a much larger operation, possibly a staging area or worksite used to move materials, load cargo, or access buried chambers. It suggested Oak Island's swamp was once part of a sophisticated system, not just a marshy mystery. More surprises surfaced when treasure hunters discovered a curved wooden object at the swamp's southern edge. The shape resembled the keel of a ship, the central backbone of a vessel. Suddenly, the swamp looked less like a natural basin and more like a sheltered harbor. Then came an even bigger shock, a fragment of ship railing, carbon-dated to the 8th century. That predates Columbus by hundreds of years, meaning skilled seafarers may have reached Nova Scotia long before Europe officially discovered North America. These finds point to one conclusion. Oak Island wasn't simply chosen at random as a hiding place. It may once have been an important nautical hub, a place where ships docked, cargo was moved, and something valuable changed hands. And the man-made swamp theory kept gaining strength. Some researchers believe the island may originally have been two separate landmasses that were intentionally joined together by a dam system, creating a water barrier to hide and protect treasure deep below the surface. The engineering involved, wooden retaining walls, ocean-fed waterways, sediment layers, man-made platforms, suggests the work of an advanced group with serious resources, knowledge, and purpose. The swamp, it seemed, wasn't just mud and mystery. It was a trap built to confuse and block treasure hunters, a barrier between the surface and the truth. But the swamp was only the beginning. When explorers first targeted the original shaft on Oak Island, the legendary Money Pit, they faced challenges so overwhelming that many realized why no one had ever reached the treasure. The Money Pit is ground zero for Oak Island's legend. Ever since those three young men first tried to dig it up back in 1795, no one had succeeded in reaching the bottom. When modern treasure hunters arrived with advanced tools, they made discoveries that shocked even the experts. Inside the shaft were wooden platforms spaced every 10 feet. These weren't random logs. They were engineered layers, likely built to safeguard something hidden far below. As the dig continued, the group found coconut fiber and log structures deeper down. Coconut fiber isn't native to Nova Scotia, meaning someone intentionally transported exotic materials to Oak Island. This alone hinted at a well-planned project and distant origins. Then came the most unforgettable detail. At roughly 90 feet, diggers reportedly unearthed a flat stone engraved with strange symbols. Some translated the carvings to mean 40 feet below, 2 million pounds lie buried. Whether that translation is accurate or not, the message electrified everyone. But as treasure hunters learned the hard way, reaching the bottom was nearly impossible. The moment the stone was removed, the shaft flooded instantly and violently with seawater. Every attempt to pump it out failed. No matter how much equipment they brought, water kept returning. Eventually, researchers discovered why. Hidden flood tunnels had been carved from the ocean straight into the pit. This wasn't an accident. It was a trap, a booby-trapped shaft designed to drown anyone who dug too deep. Still, modern teams had one advantage: technology. They didn't just want to dig, they wanted to map the underground. Sonar scans detected a long, rectangular void about 150 feet below the surface. Its shape was sharp, geometric, and totally unnatural. Many came to believe this space was the legendary offset chamber, a separate vault placed away from the pit to fool treasure hunters. More sonar and drilling tests detected signs of dense material within the void, possibly wood, metal, beams, or even chests. The precision of the structure suggested someone designed it with intent. Yet whenever treasure hunters closed in, they faced the same nightmare: water rushing in, shafts collapsing, and progress erased. All signs pointed to one conclusion: whoever built this system wanted their treasure protected forever. Some researchers think the Money Pit was a decoy all along, hiding the real vault somewhere nearby. Others believe the tunnels, traps, and hidden chambers were meant to confuse all but those who knew the secret path. To solve the puzzle, treasure hunters needed something more than machinery. They needed knowledge. That's when they turned to ancient documents. And one researcher in particular, whose work may have changed everything. Zena Halpin was a historian whose maps became critical to the Oak Island hunt. Her collection of ancient charts stunned modern researchers. These weren't recent sketches or copies. They were dated 1347. That alone was extraordinary. If authentic, it meant someone mapped Oak Island more than a century before Columbus reached the Americas, and nearly 450 years before the island was officially discovered. One map contained odd notations in Old French. Two words grabbed immediate attention: anchor and valve. They matched known references to Oak Island's flood system, just like a mechanical design. It suggested the island wasn't simply hiding treasure. It was engineered to guard it. Another mark on the map read Rodome, a name connected to Scottish noble Henry Sinclair, rumored to have sailed to North America decades before Columbus. Some believe Sinclair brought members of the Knights Templar with him, and their greatest secrets. Halpin believed these maps were made by those connected to the Templars and showed that Oak Island was intentionally charted for treasure concealment. Skeptics dismissed the idea until science joined the conversation. Researchers overlaid Halpin's maps onto modern satellite images. Shockingly, the underground anomaly shown on the map lined up perfectly with the present-day data. Even the orientation matched. Suddenly, the maps didn't look like legends. They looked like directions. And those directions led treasure hunters to something incredible: a buried hatch. It was the first true entry point into the underground chamber system. For the first time in more than 200 years, Oak Island's treasure was within reach. After centuries of hunts, heartbreaks, collapses, floods, and false alarms, a new generation of treasure hunters finally made a breakthrough. Satellite imagery highlighted a strange underground shape. Ground-penetrating radar confirmed it, and what they uncovered next would change the entire story. When the team brought in industrial-strength metal detection equipment, the readings went off the charts. A powerful iron signal lit up the exact spot marked on Zena Halpin's centuries-old maps. The crew knew instantly they were standing over something significant. Reaching it, however, was going to be a battle. They rolled in hydraulic drills, high-torque earth augers, and portable pumps to drain water from the unstable soil. Steel shoring panels were driven into the ground to keep the site from caving in. Inch by inch, they cut through heavy clay, layers of crushed stone, and thick wooden beams deliberately buried to slow anyone from digging deeper. Nearly 2 weeks passed before the excavator finally clanged against something solid. 5 feet below a shell of mud, roots, and rotted sediment, the crew uncovered a thick sheet of iron. It wasn't random scrap. It was shaped, structured, and fitted with a metal ring and hinges, rusted, locked together, but unmistakably part of a hatch. Even with crowbars, hydraulic spreaders, and acetylene torches, it took hours to break the seal. When it finally cracked open, the hatch let out a deep groan, followed by a gust of stale, cold air that had been trapped underground for centuries. Beneath them, a narrow shaft spiraled into darkness. Its walls were slick with moss and minerals, and a carved staircase of worn stone twisted downward. This was no natural cave. Every inch had been chiseled by hand, reinforced with cut stones so tight, and even that, not a single knife blade could slide between them. At the bottom, the shaft opened into a long passageway. Water dripped from the ceiling. The stone floor glistened in the dim light. Symbols and markings covered portions of the walls, some resembling letters, others more like coded signs. Everything was carefully documented before the team pressed forward. The corridor led to a chamber, unlike anything found on the island before. At the center stood a large stone table engraved with carvings. On top lay several fragile scrolls, too delicate to unroll without risking damage. Beside them sat 3 wooden chests, each bound in thick iron. The first chest was empty. The second was empty too. But when the third creaked open, a beam of light struck polished gold. Coins, engraved with markings from both Europe and the Middle East, glittered inside. One coin, when examined, appeared to date back to the 1200s or 1300s. Silence flooded the room. For the first time, there was undeniable physical proof. Oak Island had been part of a far-reaching trade network, or a target of plunder, stretching across continents. Then someone noticed another doorway. A tight stone passage ended at a small sealed entrance. When it was forced open, a compact vault appeared on the other side, lined with shelves. What they saw there stopped them cold. These items weren't random leftovers. They had been placed, preserved, and protected. The entire team realized the truth at the same moment. This was not legend, not rumor, not fantasy. This was a purpose-built treasure vault, sealed shut for hundreds of years, finally opened. But it wasn't the end. Radar scans revealed yet another chamber just beyond the vault wall, bigger than the room they had just explored. But the stone was too thick to cut without risking a collapse, and steady water seepage made the approach too unstable. Judging by what they'd already found, the team believes the sealed chamber contains the most valuable artifacts of all: intact relics, sealed containers, and, possibly, the evidence of exactly who built the vault. For now, that room waits, and according to new leaks, the History Channel already knows what was uncovered. Rumors behind the scenes now hint that Oak Island's legendary treasure may finally be real, and that the History Channel has already verified it. Although it wasn't the TV crew who discovered the hatch or the underground chambers, multiple insiders say that private treasure hunters immediately reported the find to producers. One anonymous crew member claims the footage and data proving the vault's existence have already been reviewed internally and quietly confirmed, though nothing has been shown to the public. Fans noticed that the discovery lines up perfectly with locations featured on The Curse of Oak Island. Every drill site, sonar scan, and map reading seems to have been pointing to this exact spot. Signs of major activity around the island back this up. Drone flights have increased. New filming permits have been issued. All of it suggests something huge is being prepared, possibly for a special edition season or a historic reveal episode. Online forums and Reddit threads are buzzing with theories about the delay, and many agree that releasing footage before the underground structures are stabilized could endanger the site and the artifacts. Even skeptics are beginning to shift. With every new detail, every new layer of technology, every new piece of evidence, the possibility of a real treasure beneath Oak Island looks harder to deny. Those who claim to have seen the data insist on one thing: the treasure is real, and the History Channel knows it. Of course, secrecy has always been part of Oak Island's DNA. Public access is restricted. Legal agreements surround the island. Some speculate about a cover-up. Others believe controlled disclosure is the only responsible way to protect the find. Either way, the world will eventually see the truth. For the first time in over 200 years, the mystery appears to be unraveling. The rumors, the maps, the metal readings, the chambers, all the puzzle pieces are finally aligning. And now, history stands on the edge of revelation. Will Oak Island rewrite everything we thought we knew about treasure, ancient civilizations, and hidden history? Only time will tell. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, Make sure to subscribe for more unbelievable discoveries. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.